Do 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 do. Hello and greetings. I need some chocolate milk right over here. I love chocolate milk. It's kind of like half healthy, and the rest of it's not. I think I've kind of figured it out. The ultimate inevitability of the same applies amongst human beings as it does in field theory, where everything is pressure mediation. Ultimately and inevitably, as YouTube became super huge, which of course it has, every little specialty arena would have a completely different beast pop up. I guess beast is not the correct word. You know, everybody else is shilling and pimping stuff, and they're talking about lenses, and they have no idea what the hell a good lens is or a bad lens. And for all the people that actually complain about my low production values, which of course I almost never edit videos, and there's a really good reason for that. I'm always extremely busy. I'm either translating or reading or writing and working on my book, out doing stuff, and the rest of the time I'm in deep thought. You know, what little time that is. They have to let, I don't have the time for that. Figured out that really I'm like a Renaissance guy. Not like anybody else, and I'm glad about that. I don't want to be another smiling schmuck, you know, telling people to smash the like button or please subscribe. Don't forget that 5,000 videos, I've never told anybody to subscribe. I'm not like that at all. By the way, this is a hemp robe. I made this like over 20 years ago. I made the pattern myself. I cut the fabric out myself. I'm pretty good on a sewing machine. I sewed it together myself. I translate ancient Greek. I'd been translating ancient Pali, which is an ancient Prakrit language, you know, for, right at 20 years. I used to be a master archer, give archery lessons, and engage in 5-spot competitions. Look it up. I gave archery lessons. I used to be a concealed carry instructor for the Department of Criminal Justice. I'm pretty good at leather work. I mean, I'm self-taught on pretty much everything. I made this last week. I cut the pattern for it, actually to make it super precise, because really good quality leather is expensive. I made 2 patterns. But I cut this myself, I dyed it myself, punched it, copper rivets, everything. Hand sewed it on the side myself. All of this is 100% handmade by me. I don't want to be like everybody else. You know, everybody else is, you know, it's good to like have a wife and kids and all that other stuff. You know, and I wished I had that, but I don't. I had a wife, but she died of cancer. Listen to classical music. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I'm an expert in metaphysics. You know, like late at night I'll turn on like a classical music channel on the Dish Network, which is, I think, like channel 971, and fall asleep to classical music like really late at night at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I can make my own leather work, I can make my own clothing. I translate ancient Greek and Pali. I used to teach archery. I also used to teach shooting, and I also was an instructor for a concealed carry instructor for the Department of Criminal Justice. I let that lapse license expire because the price that you're able to charge is set by the Department of Criminal Justice. So you have to charge a set fee. You have to carry insurance because of liability. It's not worth it. Like most people let their instructor's rating expire because it is the furthest thing from worth it imaginable, even though I love to teach. So I guess I'm a Renaissance person, and I am the inevitability of all the rest of these morons and dumbasses, you know, that are telling you to click the like button, subscribe, and have 1,000 affiliate links, and you know, they're talking about crap they don't really own, what they'll do. And I've borrowed some stuff a few times, you know. I don't want to have to buy everything, for God's sakes, especially considering the fact that I don't really have any money. But, you know, stuff that I stand behind, you know, I actually buy it. Like this, like the X-T3, and countless other cameras and lenses. Been fixing cameras and electronics, still fixing laptops. There's no difference really between a digital camera and a laptop. Everything is diagnostic elimination and parts replacement. But but been into optics and photography for ages. Went to photography school. Self-taught. College was a waste. You know, went to college for Russian. Hung out in the library most of the time. Most of my entire life I'd hang out in the library. I still go to the university library, but I don't hang out there. I'll check out a big-ass pile of books, the good stuff. Other people will like look up stuff that like go to college, and of course college pukes are dumbasses. And they'll like pluck out a book or two they need to study. I mean, I actually find the good stuff. It's like trash, 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 treasure. I'm taking this one home. So I'm like 95% self-taught. Yesterday I was actually talking about recommended books in metaphysics, and there were a few total idiots that were telling me, oh, you know, you're about reading. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm about actually penetrating what the person's saying. I'm not saying go out and read a book. You know, that's what, you know, you're taught how to do in high school or college. I'm like, penetrate the meaning. There's a huge difference between episteme, or empirical knowledge, and true gnosis, or wisdom. You know, episteme versus gnosis. You're supposed to read it and then penetrate your mind into what's being said, then make it your own. You know, it's where one candle lights another. You're not supposed to copy the candle. You're supposed to use that as an impetus or a spark for self-illumination. So I hate it. That's like a foregone conclusion of anybody that has any wisdom at all. But I thought that was kind of funny that people thought I was recommending you read the books. You know, just like read it. Like, that's the end of it. Just read it. Like, I've never done that in my life. But I didn't think I had to point that out in that video, but apparently I did have to do that to a few stupid people. It's like, I never recommend reading a book. I mean, read it and then penetrate it. Penetrate it. There's a good analogy. Like, find a picture of a hot person. You don't just, like, find the picture and look at it. You go and find the person and penetrate them. I'm going to edit that. I'm going to edit that out of this video. I'm going to edit. That was a really good analogy, though. Yeah, so I'm a Renaissance person. I can apparently make my own clothing. I can make my own leatherwork. I'm not too bad at riding horses, but I haven't done that in ages. I'm way too fat to get on a horse now. But I am definitely the inevitable outcome. I mean, I don't want to compare myself to the rest of these YouTube. I would never emulate them. I live my life upon the premise, not a premise, it's a fact. Nothing true is popular, nothing popular is true. The same thing all the rest of these YouTube schmucks on photography channels are doing is the exact same thing I don't want to do. Make highly polished videos where you pimp and shill and tell people to click the like button, and, you know, they'll go out there. It doesn't teach anybody anything. Like, stand over there, Sally. Yeah, girl. Oh, man. They'll take pictures of hot chicks. And that's exciting and all. And that'll get you the subscribe. That doesn't teach anybody anything. You know? Doesn't. You know, unless you actually show somebody how to properly light them, which they don't. They just show you them taking pictures of, you know, of not really sexy, but moderately so. Like a scale of 1 to 10, like a 4 maybe. That doesn't help anybody. It is glamorous, and it does impress people, and they get people to subscribe. There's one famous channel. She did it as an experiment. She has, she's very physically endowed, if you know what I mean, and she pretended to be extremely stupid, and she got like a bazillion subscribers, and you could click on her link, and you could watch very adult-rated videos of her. I thought someone showed me a link to that. It's like, this person pretends to be the dumbest person alive, but, you know, they got a billion people watch just because they're extremely hot, you know, and she is hot. I think she gave it up, though. It was an experiment. She says, like, this is my last video. I'm not doing that anymore. I only watched 2 or 3 of her videos. That was funny. Not the adult videos that were in the links below, but just like the YouTube videos. I don't care to see that stuff. So that's who I am. I'm a Renaissance person, and I watch people save money, you know, make things simple in their brains. You know, I wish some people never taught me in photography school, like the really simple methodology to portrait illumination using speedlight, because everybody's afraid of speedlights. You know, someone could have told me something really simple, and that something simple would be, what you do is forget about your subject, take a test shot, you expose for your ambient illumination, be in all manual mode, expose for your ambient, and raise the lighting to as desired and as needed, both compositionally and how the light sculpts the subject, and of course the amount of light. So you expose for your ambient in manual, you leave it there, of course, and then you raise your artificial illumination, speed light or strobe. Why didn't somebody teach me that in photography school? You know, I self-taught on it. I always learn a quicker, faster way than any way anybody else has ever tried to teach me. People don't teach me anymore. I'm self-taught on everything. I can always find a better way, a faster way, than anybody else can, 9 times out of 10. I always have an open mind to listen to people. Like, somebody's been doing something for 50 years. They probably got a lot of tips and tricks they could pass on to you. I'm not saying those people don't have something to teach, but everybody else, they say the old saying is that those who can't teach, and that's really more accurate than people realize, especially when it comes to high school and college. It's just a bunch of flunkies. They can't really teach you anything. That's not to say there aren't some good teachers, but most of them suck. But anyway, I guess that's who I am. I'm a Renaissance guy. I make my own clothing, I make my own leather, I translate ancient Greek and Pali, listen to classical music, and I'm an expert in metaphysics and specifically also field theory. Well, specifically metaphysics. I can't think of another person that's kind of like that. Expert in metaphysics and field theory, makes their own clothing, makes their own briefcases and leatherwork, translates ancient Greek and Pali. It's really a weird combo. Very strange. I used to skydive every day too. I uploaded a video. I don't know where it's at. It's a video of me. I made my own helmet for skydiving and attached a video camera to it, and I've got thousands of jumps skydiving. I don't do that anymore. However, I do have permanent hard creases in my legs from the hard openings. You know, hard openings from the parachute, which are basically, it'll decelerate you from 120 to about 15 miles an hour, just really fast, like, jerk you back, and man, that'll burst some blood vessels in your legs. Hard opening, especially pulling in a track is where you have your arms and legs folded back instead of free falling. You're like falling like a bullet. Instead of 120, you're going about 160 plus. Yeah. Anyway, I digress on that topic. So I guess that's who I am. People say, who is this weird guy? He's bald, he's an asshole, he's got tattoos. What is he wearing where's he wearing a kung fu robe? It's not a kung fu robe. I mean, it's a type of kimono, but I mean, it's made out of hemp. It's actually made out of twill hemp. It's very breathable, but it also keeps you warm in the wintertime. Boy, the LCD screen on my X Pro trigger is really scratched up. I've traveled a lot with it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.